how to approach Qigong. And then if you approach Qigong and you are interested in Qigong, it's how to understand Qi. Because there are tons of description of what Qi is, and depends on where we come from. And I've already talked about this in videos. And in this one, I will just simplify. What if we take Qi as a layer that is behind the physical? Don't have to overcomplicate this. Just maybe approach that there is a layer, there's a realm behind the physical, that we know physical, that we can touch, and then we understand like anatomy of the body and the physical manifestation of the body. I was always interested in what is it that makes this body function? What is the engine? What are the strings that moves this body? Or this flesh and bone body is just autonomous on its own and just work automatically. So obviously we understand, this is a side note, that the cells produce energy and the heart pumps, or actually science question that now. And also science question how we breathe and what happens with the oxygen and then all sorts of gases and everything that we work through our way in this environment that we live in. But back to the Qigong and the Neigong studies, like the ancient Chinese understood in a certain way what Qi is. It's like a called vital force or essence or something like that. But basically, they were much more interested in what Qi does, not what it is. Because labeling what it is might not be right, but understanding what it does can bring us closer to practice. And that's what I'm interested in. So, in the beginning, just how to understand the practice, and that Qigong is the skill of working with Qi. But what does it mean to have these skills, and what kind of skills we talk about? And I think first and foremost is just to be able to tap on this layer. But how to do that? How to tap on this layer, which we call Qi. And according to the practice, it's like context dependent, like what we understand, what kind of Qi we plan to work with. And in a perspective, it's wrong. In another perspective, it's right. So this is how we approach the practice of Qigong. So of course, we know that when we start, obviously we can do things just wrong, but probably one step at a time is becoming right, hopefully. So how to tap on this layer that is behind the physical? And simplified version, most basic is listen and release. And we learn it through the body. So that's probably a big question of modern people, like how much they know their body, so like how much they are able to listen to this physical body, contrary to all that stimulus, all those triggers that is received from outside. Like, we don't have to over-explain this, but you know the smartphones and you know the televisions and cinema, and just everything is just about grabbing the attention of people. So how, it's a big question, how turn the light around, how to listen to the body, how we start to do that. It's a complex question. This is why in the Chinese arts, listen and release is so much merged. They're almost like one, in my opinion. Like, there is almost impossible, there's almost no chance to listen if we cannot release. Like if there is a lot of tension, there's a lot of sickness, there's a lot of toxicity in the body, it's pretty hard to listen to it. Like why would we not listen to something more pleasant? So that's how we start, and it's still physical. And maybe this is what makes Qigong practice so real, if we understand that the practice of listening and releasing starts with the body. Do not have to rush. Do not have to rush to the microcosmic orbit and then all those shiny phrases of Qigong, because it might not be true, it might not be possible if we are not able to listen to the body. How do we expect ourselves to listen to something more subtle, more complex as the Qi? So then let's say we are through this. The next category is like differentiate or separate. So at least this is my experience. It's how to listen to the body and differentiate and separate what we are listening to. So like bones, muscles, and different kind of tissues. And that is most probably just the surface level. That is just the introductional level. Are we able to listen deeper and understand more complex relationships in the body, which is, I think, is a form of differentiation and separation. And I think that's a very nice playground to prepare the ability and an awareness once it is able to tap into the Qi realm. It's how to differentiate between different kind of Qi. And then the third category would be probably understanding the quantity and the quality of the Qi, which is something we don't talk so much about, but we tend to oversimplify actually and think, oh, right, we have energy and that's it. Energy comes from somewhere, it goes to somewhere, and yeah, we don't have to know how much and what kind. It's just, yeah, we talk about energy. So energy healing and all sorts of manipulations with energy people talk about. My opinion is at the moment that it's a mind game mostly. And there must be something in the instructions of the masters, the ancient masters or any attained master, that it takes time. It takes time to truly tap on this layer behind the physical. Because we have a mind. And the mind is very tricky. So it's quite easy to fall for the trap of the mind, which would like to make us believe, oh, this is already the Qi, so we know the Qi. So I personally like to listen to those attained teachers and masters who truly understands the nature of the physical body and the nature of the Qi, at least. And then not even talking about the nature of the mind and the nature of the consciousness. So still the introductions, you know. So just to summarize, if there is a layer behind the physical body, which we call Qi, and then there is a practice that we call Qigong, it means the ability to tap into this layer and then regulate this layer. And this layer is very much like the bridge between the body, the mind, and the consciousness. And according to this practice, according to Neigong practice, the easiest to change and the easiest to regulate the body, energy, and consciousness trinity is through Qi. So this is number one, to follow the rules, let's say, and follow the instructions and the mechanisms that will lead us through this process of change, the process of transformation, all along this path, very likely the ability to listen and release will also develop, so that the next level is much more understandable, not just on paper and not just in the intellectual way, but in practice, like in reality. So this is why it's the most fascinating things for me, because I was a big philosopher before. Like the way I'm constructed, I pretty much like to dig deep to the roots of everything, and maybe I'm able to understand theories even though I do not do practice, but I never deluded myself that I truly understand until it is planted in practice and planted in reality. So now the next point is still, basics. But I hope that we can encapsulate this topic like real quick. Is daily practice. So daily practice is, the way I see it, is our chance and our possibility to work with this layer, and this is beautiful. We can have access to this layer that is behind the physical, that is the function and the mechanism, or maybe the blueprint sometimes, behind who we are and how do we function. So this is a free card, this is free for everyone, and possible to do this. And I think it is possible mostly if we manage to put the ego aside and follow instructions, which is quite interesting, because the world outside teaches us to fight and sustain and provide and shine and show and just be perfect and such things. And this process pretty much demand just put knowledge aside and explore something unknown. And if this layer is not unknown to you, then you already know it, right? So that's the default setting. If we do not know this layer, then humble ourselves in front of the practice so that we are directed toward the unknown. We are about to explore something that was unknown before, which means we do not know Qi. So once you think you know Qi and it's a trap, then it's probably won't work for you. And that is the mindset probably needed. So back to it, daily practice. I think it's amazing that we have this possibility and every day wake up and practice Qigong. Because that is, like, we could say it's magic, but it's more than that, because it's real. So the ability to train the body is fantastic. Like the external way of form and shape the body is amazing. Increase blood flow, increase the lymphatic systems, mechanisms, hormones, and the flow of the blood, and then the health of the joints, and then all sorts of tissues are nourished, like through the food that we eat, and then the way we move, and then also the nature of the rest, and it's all combined and take care of the body. It's beautiful. But there is also a chance to work with this layer of Qi, which is called Qigong. Just regulate these fields of Qi and then the movements of Qi, the two major categories of what we can understand how Qi works. So like have these fields and then have these movements, which is the construct behind the physical. It's almost a projection of the physical, or the Qi is projecting into the physical, like who knows. But we know that we have thoughts, we have emotions, we have moods, and sometimes we are sick, so we have sicknesses, and then we have different kind of movements and postures. It's like body postures and body movements. In my point of view, this is how this layer works behind the physical and then manifests through these. So if we have problems with thoughts and emotions, then Gong just serves us a very good tool to regulate this daily. I think that's fantastic, actually. So if you want to understand what Qigong is, this is Qigong. Move and shape and form and structure the Qi. It is possible to do that behind the physical. It's like step away from the physical, or maybe in the beginning just understand and realize how the physical and then this layer of Qi work together. How Qi is the bridge between mind and body. So whatever we experience in the mind has a reflection in the body, and whatever we experience in the body has a reflection in the mind, and they constantly exchange information between them. And then the bridge, the messenger, is the Qi. So it's just amazing. And almost lastly, now that we understand this, all these mechanisms and functions, and probably accept it, now the next step is understand that the efficiency of the physical body, the way the physical body works, and the efficiency of the Qi body, or the structures and aspects of the Qi, can be increased. So like the structure of the Qi fields, or the flow of the life force, or ultimately, with the correct principles and methods and enough practice, the body itself can be transformed and changed into a much more efficient way of operation. I don't know, it's just so simple, it's just so easy to understand. Like if you would have a machine, but the machine is built up from quite basic components, and then slowly you understand, you take the machine into parts, and then understand, oh wait a minute, I can improve this part, and I can improve like that component, and then maybe I can just build a new engine into this machine, and then all of a sudden the machine works more fluently, breaks down less, and just keep providing and keep being the foundation for something else. Maybe another machine, or maybe a machine in the machine can be built, just because the possibility arises from increased efficiency. So this is, just to recap, this is like ancient and not so ancient methods that literally work so well is right here in front of us, modern people who face certain difficulties, but maybe in the history, and I don't know history, like how would I know? Like really, even if it's written in a book, how would I know it's true or not? How would I know what happened 1,000 years ago? How would I know how people worked their mind and their body before? I have no idea. What I know is what's going on now, and what kind of difficulties we face. And this ancient method is just free to use, and there are amazing people worked out these systems for us and keep them alive. So much appreciation to them, and all we need to do just explore and use and have fun and play with it. And then each day practicing Qigong, we just play with this, and then every little drop will be just collected until we have a bucket of results, and then later on we have a river of results, and then we have a lake of results, and then an ocean of results. And this is just up for everyone. This depends on you. This depends on your responsibility. Like, what do you think life is about, and how much these resources can be used for maintaining solid functioning and solid mechanisms inside of these constructs that is the body. And then probably, I don't know, probably the layer behind the body is also a construct, just much more subtle. And maybe behind that much more subtle construct of chi, there's probably the realm of Shen and the realm of spirit and the realm of the soul that is so far above me. So I don't know that. But the idea fascinates me, and then, yeah, this is what inspired this video. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave comment or share, or just write me a letter what topics you would like to hear about, or part of these topics I'm happy to talk about. So thank you for watching and listening.